Now, in Amsterdam, the movement of the squatters, the crackers, was a very strong movement in the 80s because there was a lot of speculation. So, in spite of the fact that there were a lot of people searching for houses and for rooms, etc., in Amsterdam, and a very big need, there were a lot of empty flats because there were a lot of owners that were just waiting for the prices to rise and get more profit. So a lot of young people got organized and they started taking buildings, because I do not know, that's something I would like also to ask you, but I do not know if this is the case in America, but in Europe there is a very old law, something from the Middle Ages, probably from the time, that when there were a lot of abandoned houses and people needed a place and they had a right to have it, that if you don't break in, if you somehow open the door from the inside, you have a certain right to stay there, and that's a kind of hole in the law. So of course, the owners obviously got irritated and they called the police, and the police would go there and try to evict the people. But the crackers were so organized in the 80s that they even had a radio station. And at that time there were no cells, but they phoned each other, and when somebody was with problems, they would just go there, all of them, at least 400 people with baseball bats in front of the house, like saying, try to take us out. And the police would go there once or twice, but, there was this hole in the law, so it was not clear that they could get evicted. So finally they said to the owner, if you want to defend your property, you have to defend your property by your own means, because we are not, we cannot be, we have to be sort of neutral here. So of course the owners hired tough guys, but when the tough guys confronted 300 people with baseball bats, they said, that's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, just to kick somebody and get a family out. That's going to be very difficult. So in actual fact, many of these people, and I can talk, this man is not my boyfriend any longer, but we are still friends, and he now lives in this house. He rents it at a very reasonable rent from the town hall, because another thing that they did immediately was they started repairing the houses. The houses had been empty for a long time and they were not well. And the people were totally on their side. And, and they said, no, but these people have done something to this property. They, they have painted it, they have put toilets where there weren't, they have repaired the pipes for the water, etc., etc. So in actual fact, finally, after a very long negotiation that took for a long time, many town halls bought the thing from the owners not at the market price, but really for the necessities of the people that had less money, and they were, so now they are paying rent finally, but they were for months and months without paying rent. Because another thing that was very interesting was that when they took that house, all the rest of the neighbors who were also fed up with the owner and who were paying rent, but the house was not empty, said, in solidarity with these people, we are all going to stop paying rent, because it is true that for years we have been trying to get the owner to repair this, and they haven't done it. If you want to join us, you're welcome, but we are, okay.
What country again? I missed that.
That was Holland. Holland, the crackers.
All right.
Okay, so that's my experience when I was visiting, because I would spend 1 month visiting my boyfriend in this place or so, was that they were very nice, because they had a car. And the car also was the property of all of them, so that people would say, who were they? So he was downstairs, there was another guy who was on the first floor, and there was another guy who was on the second floor, and they all had friends and so on. So actually there were many parties. That was quite a wild time, by the way. But besides that, they made friendships with lots of neighbors, and they shared the car. and the car, so people would say, this weekend I would like to go with my family to the beach. Okay, so you can have the car. And they negotiated.
Wow.
And they shared the car. And then another thing, which was very nice, was that if you were there, you cooked once. And you cooked for everyone. So you cooked for the neighbors and for all the people. And that day you would go buy the food for everyone, cook the food for everyone, and then wash the dishes for everyone. But you had to do that one day. All the other days you were invited by someone else who was doing what you were doing, because those were agreements that they had. So that's one experience that I wanted to share about communal living. I would like you now to share some other experiences that you have personally or that you know of or whatever.
Could you again repeat the year that you were there?
Oh, several years. That was during the 80s.
During the 80s.
The
okay.
80s, yes.
All right, thanks.
All right, so my name is Jatao.